Alright, please tell us your name and what project you were going to speak about.
My name is Rory Bell, and my project is on determining the structure of DNA through X-ray diffraction.
Okay, what was your team trying to do or find?
My team was trying to determine DNA structure because we saw this as a key element to understanding how it functions, that is, storing information.
Interesting. Who else was involved in this project?
Thank you. So my boss, Rosalind Franklin, actually was the one who got the ball rolling on this project. She had been performing X-ray diffractions on crystalline samples of DNA, and that's what I worked with her on. And some of the other scientists that I worked with on this project were Francis Crick and James Watson. They greatly contributed to the research we did on DNA. And Franklin's colleague Maurice Wilkins also played a role in these discoveries.
Okay, and where were your experiments and research being conducted?
I worked with Rosalind at King's College at the University of London, which is where she began her research on DNA structure in the early 1950s.
Alright, and what was your specific role in this project?
Yeah, so along with Franklin, I performed many X-ray diffractions to obtain the light diffraction pattern in the crystal samples we were examining, which had DNA molecules. And we were able to retrieve photos of the diffraction patterns that were shaped like X's that our aforementioned colleagues helped decipher. And understanding the behavior of light, especially in the X-ray spectrum, that really helped us understand what those photographs we were getting were representing.
That sounds fascinating. Were there any other significant events that you recall happening around the world at the time that you were working on this?
Yes, there actually were. Around the time we were conducting this research, many other events were happening around the world. The first satellite to orbit Earth was launched by Soviet Russia at one point. And also the United States, they were working on the development of the hydrogen bomb, and that was picking up speed in the 1950s because they were actually at war with Soviet Russia. And the polio vaccine was actually developed in the United States too. So there were lots of scientific breakthroughs taking place around this time.
Yes, it does seem like there was a lot going on during this time. Now, what kind of impact did your work on DNA have on the physics community?
At the time, or a little more previously, Rosalind had been using X-ray diffraction to study other particles and molecules as well. So X-ray diffraction was actually proving to be very useful in determining specific structures and characteristics of things that were on microscopic levels, really atomic levels, because the atomic and molecular structure of those specimens were made possible to identify through the X-ray diffraction and crystallography. So it was very helpful to be able to utilize how light bends in crystals to identify the shape of the molecules that we were studying.
That is truly remarkable. Do you know of any scientific advancements that followed that catalyzed off of your experimentation and discovery here?
Yes, actually. Genetic code and protein synthesis had better grounds to be discovered on after this breakthrough with DNA. So just a few decades later, research in genetic engineering, gene sequencing, and other techniques for studying biological processes advanced.
Well, that was the last question. Thank you for speaking on your incredible and pivotal work with us.
Thank you for interviewing me. I'm glad I got to share this information with people.